Oh no, anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over. I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone. It's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home. Your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's another lie.
All right. I feel like this song is so utterly perfect for this moment. That would be Anxiety by Mind Me. Yeah. We did get some feedback on audio sound that we were sounding a little overdriven. Of course, my response was, yeah, we're really loud. So I pulled the gain back. If anyone wants to listen, probably when there's not background music, but tonight, listen for, you know, any sort of fuzziness or, you know, things that sound not great, not as great when we're getting loud, and let me know. We'll see how that does. And if you're the one who gave me the feedback, then you'll know exactly what you're looking for, and let me know. Let's see if it fixed. Okay. 8 minutes. I'm gonna take that 8 minutes and breathe. We will be rolling shortly.
Remember you were made. I try to work, but it doesn't work. I try to say something, but there's no word. I try to justify my actions, less reactions, heartbeat raising. Oh, it doesn't work. I try to work.
뻔한 얘기지만 널 보면 그냥 좋아 매일 보고 싶어 함께 있는 순간들도 So hold me tight through the night 변치 말자 너와 나 아름다운 그대여 I just feel so lucky 운명이라 믿어요 오랜 친구였던 그대와 나 사이에 묘한 감정들이 자라기 시작했죠 You feel so right I'll be your night 시작인 걸 우리 둘 아름다운 그대여 I just feel so lucky 운명이라 믿어요 밤하늘 수놓은 별들도 춤을 춰 함께 있어줘요 영원히 아름다운 그대여 I just feel so lucky 운명이라 믿어요 아름다운 그대여 I just feel so lucky 운명이라 믿어요
오늘의 날씨 일기예보는 맑음 햇살 밝은 오후 무작정 어딘가 향하는 발걸음 너와 자주 걷던 거리 어쩌면 너무 익숙해져 버린 습관과 같던 매일 너랑 기억에 갇혀 살아 하염없이 비가 내려 두 뼘 위로 이렇게 맑은데 차라리 빗물이라고 불러대면 마음
We met Danny's wife at AnimeNYC.
Well, we met Danny Chu at AnimeNYC.
But we met Danny's wife at AnimeNYC.
It is November 27th, and this is your, what is it? It's your
Smartdoll
News. Hey, we're back. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. And it's been a very busy, tiring, exhausting...
A lot of weeks, and just like Shizu-san, we also have some little something going on. Not the giant plague, but something.
The giant plague. If only we had a plague to take out all those giants. I came down with something as soon as we hit home on Thanksgiving. It's a little insane. But that's pretty much every time I have a trip somewhere, I come back with something, and not like a nice souvenir. I should be buying my wife souvenirs. Instead, I bring her disease.
But look, I got a teapot necklace.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's a macaron teapot, and
here, are you gonna hold it nearish? And then
is it gonna make it?
All right, we're gonna do top down on our.
Can you guys see? Yeah, you can see it. I can't get it all the way into the middle. There we go.
There we go.
So it's a little macaron teapot, and then I got the matching earrings, which I'll put those out there too. I can take one off.
Oh, we're going back.
So little macaron earrings.
Yeah, ridiculously cute. So yeah, that was our. Oops, I'm losing the post.
That's okay. It's supposed to be convertible.
That was our sort of souvenir from AnimeNYC.
I thought of you guys. I was gonna get myself a crown because I said
she looked.
I
so much.
really did look at crowns.
You and Wifey, you and Jay went looking. I believe.
No, it wasn't Jay. It was Kyle.
It was Kyle.
It was Otaku Sensei. We went and looked at crowns. And we just couldn't find one that looked good, but also would occupy the right height on the camera.
Yeah, there's not enough room up here for a whole lot more.
So I know you guys like it when I'm sparkly, but and this is speaking of Mrs. Danny. This is for all of this is for Jay, because she and I had a long discussion about me being sparkly.
And so we're amping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got lots to talk about for AnimeNYC. We've got an exclusive video about Cortex 2, which we will be debuting here. I'm also going to put up a solo version of that as its own video in the coming days. We have... yeah, I don't know. There's a lot
to talk about.
And stay tuned for some event updates from Danny that I literally just received before we started.
Hot off the presses.
So, yeah, I guess they are landed. They are exhausted, and Danny is pushing through the jet lag and just spending the day at the office today. So, let's...
The elephant is also out in the room, and we'll have to talk about that.
Oh yes, elephants should always be discussed. They demand it. Yeah, let's get going. First up, probably my favorite news to talk about this week.
We love this news, and we haven't even gotten through the first batch with interviews yet, and now we've got another batch to do.
Yeah, we got some interviews to get caught up on. Definitely, I know everyone liked that, but another round of smartdoll creators is up, and some personal favorites among them. We have on the apparel design front, we have Squishdalia, Puppy52, and All My Plastic Children.
All incredibly talented people. Squishdalia's stuff I just gush over, and she does it in such limited quantities and then just sells when she can.
Yeah.
And she's so talented.
We also have let's see. Oh, thank you, Spiral Mind. Thank you so
very much.
For that super chat. Spiral Mind says, and this is a little bit behind, happy Monday. Oops. Hope you had a great time.
We did.
Yes, we did. It was an experience. I don't think we saw enough of the AnimeNYC, but it didn't matter. So back to this, we have the Baker 3.6 for their innovative arts and crafts. I believe that is this Aliens cosplay here.
Okay.
I could be wrong. We'll have to double check on that on the actual page.
And then some of our favorite people.
Magical Girl Kit Kat.
There's Stevie up there.
She has been working so hard, putting her entire face-up journey out there for everyone to see, and we are so utterly proud of her. Not only just
she
her
works
success,
really, really hard, and it means so much to her.
Yep, and just for being like such a genuinely awesome person and always being herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is. We love you, Kat. We also have Kit and Kat Shop for their accessories. We've been showing to you. We showed you some last time. We've
got our assortment here again.
We'll do blurry. The Bah Humbug mug. That's a little bit better.
The Bah Hum mug.
The Bah Hum mug. The Grinch drink and the little martini glass. They're gorgeous. Oh, and my little John mug.
So their stuff is really great, and I believe, did you put it in the description for the stream?
Yeah, so you, as viewers of our audience, Corey and Anna have given us a special code just for you. Go to kitandcatshop.com and use the code MLDCORT20. That's the MLDC is in caps. It is case sensitive. You can use that code for 20% off your entire order at kitandcatshop.com, and it is good through December 31st.
And if any of the holiday things are not ready, I know they are doing another batch of stuff in December, so that hasn't come up yet, but so there will be more of those coming, so just keep your eyes open. Yeah, it's fantastic. There is a reminder and a link down in the description as well. Also in the Discord, we announced it, so it's in the announcements channels. We'll be reminding you as we go this month, because it is such a fantastic time to pick up whatever you can from them, and you really shouldn't miss out. And that is across all categories, not just the Christmas. So whatever you put in your cart, 20% off.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Thank you, Barbie Witch. The Barbie Witch says, from Silver, good lord, from Silver Medal Super Chatter #1, Barbie Witch, I bid you happy Cyber Monday.
It is Cyber Monday.
We did, and we'll be talking more about that in a minute, I think. Yeah, let's dig back in. So happy to see all these creators being spotlighted. As always, he sent out rewards for those who were picked by you. These were all picked by you all. So it's great to see. I know some Pear Girls got out there in the wild.
Corey and Anna, Kit and Kat Shop, picked up their doll at AnimeNYC. It was really neat. I took some pictures while they were getting shown by Danny how to
like the ins and outs.
Yeah, the ins and outs of the new pair body, and it was just really, they were so happy, and it was just really neat to see someone getting their Pear Girl.
Yeah, really, really cool. And like Sandy already mentioned, we need to get some of you on the news and start digging into learning even more about these creators and how they got into the hobby and all that good stuff. Let's see. While we were gone, Danny was also posting this picture every now and then, which, if you don't know what it is, it's basically just a screenshot of stealthing in Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Which is, or was, his code for a stealth drop of Legion. She was just coming out in little spurts throughout the trip. So yeah. I don't know if he was doing it like if he just scheduled them to pop out and scheduled tweets or something, or if he was doing it literally on his phone while he was at AnimeNYC.
Like checking in with the team and seeing how many were ready to go.
They could have been, they could have been doing it from their laptop for all I know. I mean, who knows? They had, they at least had the ability to do it. So I'm not sure if it was automated or not, but it's still very funny. The just sort of like he was sort of saying that this might happen, and then he just started posting this.
Mhm.
I was utterly confused when I first saw this. All right, so I hope those of you who have been looking for Legion have been getting them. I don't think she's going away anytime soon. We moved from like Vampire World into Legion World. Like it's just, everyone seems to be latching on to
whatever the
some of these
new interesting doll that comes out.
Yeah, but like there's like he's really hitting the nail on the head with some of these dolls and getting a lot of popular interest.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Cyber Monday.
Okay, ever since he started doing the cyber paint, we have been saying there's got to be a Cyber Monday. And there she is.
There she is. This is just hilarious. I love that she exists almost solely as a pun. And I think that's awesome. The post here is Danny talking about like how they're not doing Black Friday sales. They're putting out Cyber Monday. That's their Cyber Monday sale. Is Cyber Mondays available? Which in other words, if you're not interested, go away. He's not going to try and push dolls down your throat.
I will say on Cyber Monday, on Monday, those cyber markings on the face, they're actually very flattering to her eye. Like more so, I think, than on some of the other dolls. I think it actually highlights her eye really well.
Yeah, I mean, it does some interesting stuff because on this particular sculpt, I think as well, because of the the lower half of the face is a little bit more compressed. I think there's a little bit less room than some of the other dolls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's hard to say, but yeah, I agree with you. Are you thinking mostly the color or like the actual
the way it points to her eyes? It's an interesting eye makeup for her, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. I love that. I just think it's great. So I'm not sure. Did she actually?
I don't think she actually launched. I think
no.
he just showed her.
So cool. Let us go on to again. We're just sort of getting through some of the news and like the non-anime NYC stuff. This dropped today, I believe, or a few days ago. This is the face masks for Limitless. Our seem to be in progress.
Mm-hmm. And then I love her. I love those eyelashes. We were talking about favorite eyelashes. And I think Barbie Witch and I are both in agreement that she has awesome eyelashes.
She does have very interesting eyelashes, and I'm just now noticing the two-tone nature of them, and you've got a really sort of standout lighter brown and darker brown.
And the use of the lighter brown shadow as liner under her eye, I like a lot.
Yeah, he's been doing that. He has that on Legion, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe on Transcendence. Yeah, she is very cool. All right, so let's talk
AnimeNYC.
This is a picture of the very bare bones setup, basically before much else was taken out. This is the lineup of girls that Danny brought with him. This is very cool. We don't have a great plan for how we're going to go through this, so we might be bouncing around here a little bit. But
we're just going to talk. We just kind of putting it out there, and we'll discuss what we see.
Yeah. So I had taken pictures. I'm gonna get some close-ups here for you, of each one here. Here we have Pride rocking the ridiculously awesome Cortex 2 prototype with the sort of the beginnings, a contracted version of the Mantis arms from like fold out blades from Cyberpunk 2077. I believe that's what those, like, you could almost misinterpret them as vents, but I believe they're supposed to be like folded up blades. It's hard to say. It's also got sort of a cannon there, so it could be vents. But very cool.
There's some stuff going on in the chat. Cornflower Blue says, "Why do I get an ad in the middle of this live stream?"
That's because YouTube does ads in the middle of live streams now. And we turned them off as long as we could, but it's not really an option anymore. We will have some options to control when, but we're
not ready for that right now.
We're figuring out that. Give us some time. Pride. Pride rocking the arm. You can't see her. She's also rocking. This is a Pride that got the amputee arm.
Yeah, the amputee arm is kind of behind her back in this shot, but she was wearing that and the cyber arm. The cyber arm is really cool. I mean, if you look up near the top, there's a slightly lighter gray circle. That's actually a magnet. It's really neat. It's all done with magnets, so you can put panels of skin back on the arm if you want to, or add other attachments. It's very neat.
Here we have the recently announced. This is the pair body with the cyber pair body, I should say, with Fortitude.
Yeah, and actually that one is the master. That one had to go back to Japan because it's actually the first one, the master, to be made. To make the others out of, so it had to go back to Japan.
Yeah, one of the really cool things. So basically, let's keep going through these dolls real quick. Here we have Marvel.
She's so cute.
Rocking the now I can't remember the name of the outfit.
It's a salwar top, and I forget what the pants are called. Kurta? Is that right?
I want to get this right. Smartdoll. Smartdoll.jp. Let's check out. I'm just going to check out their the actual article that he did for this. I should have kept it up, but no, that's the Cyberdoll. Where are we? Here we are.
The post-apocalyptic Kurta Salwar.
So this is, you've got this,
which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, and I'm sorry.
This, sort of loose top. You've got a like sort of multiple tied belt with different fabrics, and these lovely billowing pants that are like pleated at the top and then just balloon out.
He did tell me when we were talking about it, the belts are like you can put those on in a lot of different ways, and he will give clarification on how to do those knots that he's showing, but you can play with it. It's it's just an extra piece that adds to the outfit.
Yeah. Wonder is really quite cute in person.
She is. She's even, if you like her looking at the pictures, she's really cute in person.
That's kind of true for all of them. They're always cuter in person.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Coco Future.
Miss Future. She's so lovely.
In pair. Yeah, really cool. And with the with the cool glasses. Other than being Coco and Pear, nothing particular new, although we are getting our first look at you've got your Pear Tokyo jeans and belt.
But it will show you too that he was highlighting diversity, differences, inclusion in this whole display. So she actually has she has a hearing assist device. So,
yeah, we did. We did. I believe it was Anna pointed out that the hearing aid was mounted incorrectly. And he did say specifically that unfortunately he needed to lower it down so that it was visible under the hair, and so that it was obvious to people coming up.
So that was the only reason it's low.
But she is great. We have a who is this again?
That is Live and Let Live.
And in Coco, and I love like we had a couple of people mention this while they were kind of pointing things out. They're like, it's holding the cell phone, like the Evolve frame. I love the fact that it can, that it's strong enough to hold up these pretty heavy devices.
Danny actually highlighted in the past he's used iPads, but they're very easily stolen, so he switched to a phone, and that phone he didn't do power for this trip, so for his booth, so that phone would basically just run forever on it just it lasted the whole day. It lasted 10 hours or something like that. It up. Yeah.
Here we have another pair body. This is the pair body with the tattoo. We got to actually see. This was announced in his Twitter and on the website just before the show, and he brought her with to show her off. This tattoo is ridiculous.
That tattoo is an example of going to the extreme, basically. He told me that tattoo took one person a day and a half to do. It's just an example of the possibilities of doing it, but not something that when the tattoos come out, and I think he said this in his post, when the tattoos come out, don't expect that.
Yeah.
Because that's very elaborate. But yeah, that took somebody a day and a half to do.
Yeah, it's very interesting because from our perspective, this is, not 100% acceptable, but very acceptable in our culture. But in Japan, not really at all, because of its association with Yakuza and such. Like having tattoos,
it's not respectable.
No, not at all. And so this is again Danny sort of pushing the envelope for at least Japanese culture. To kind of show, inclusion and self-expression. Yeah, I would love to see more repeatable, more more tribal stuff. Is certainly they could make masks for, solid black tattoos. But yeah, anywhere, even if it's not color. Anywhere you get into a black and gray tattoo, you're still talking a lot of work.
If you do that tattoo took a day and a half, and you can imagine, I don't know what Danny pays his employees, but can you imagine what he would have to charge a person to have that tattoo on their doll?
Yeah. I would imagine what we might see is a combination of mask and hand done, where you might see, like you see here, I could see the black parts becoming a mask that they painted. Once it's made a little bit more solid instead of this sort of gradation that they've got going on. Something where they can take parts of it and make it more easily repeatable. But the rest of it then being hand done behind that, so they can be a little bit quicker, a little bit looser with the background, and then apply the stencil on top of that. So very cool. Let's see what we have next. Then we have Courage, Semi-Real Courage, also rocking the pants we looked at earlier, and the prototype arm. Looks great. Thank you, Shani Mori. Shani says, Big shout out to the Smart Doll Appreciation Society on Facebook and to the Court of Disdain for being amazing Smarty communities.
We do like to shout out the Smart Doll Appreciation Society. It's our favorite of the Facebook groups.
Yep. In general, they're the most one of the more well-managed groups. Tends to keep the drama to a minimum.
I think you find more of the serious collectors that have both large collections and knowledge and the love of the dolls, not just the hunt for money in that group.
Yep. All right, and if I can get back here. Oh, that's right, because I'm not on there. Here we have the lovely Legion with the scar, who looked great, and rocking the crutches. I just love the posing, the pose with the leg.
She's leaning on the crutches. So it actually looks like she's using them, which is fantastic.
She looks great. That wig is friggin' great.
She's got some of my favorite eyelashes too. I'm a big fan of Legion's eye makeup. I think she has a little bit of she reminds me in her eye makeup and stuff and her styling of North, but on she reminds me of anime North.
Yeah.
Not I know there is a semi-real North, but she reminds me of anime North done on G7.
Yeah. I'm with you. I can see that. I really dig the scar. I like the idea of him doing limited runs of scarring and things like that on certain faces, that we're gonna start to see some mixing of of some features on dolls, especially instead of always having one doll that represents that particular feature. With things like that they can easily do, like a scar, they can mix and match. I think it's really cool. And I really actually kind of dig her like this with the scar. I don't know.
I do too. And we've been, of course, everybody has been following Danny's Instagram and stuff, has been seeing pictures of this doll because she was actually out and about a lot while they were vacationing. Yeah,
this was his personal doll, basically, that he was taking around. And...
this was a visiting doll. This was
was it?
Yep. This is but she was put on the front line. This is
Coco Prowess.
Coco semi-real Prowess.
Yep.
Yes. With the gold markings, and she is amazing in person. And I am Prowess is not normally my jam, but I do like her. Oh, you can see me in the background there.
Oh yeah,
having a chit chat.
Oh hey!
I must be talking to Jay because I'm cracking up laughing.
She so this is something to note, behind here, these are the shots of the front of the table. Behind here is more dolls that are a mixture of not as representation dolls, but the cosplay dolls, but also dolls that were bringing. This is basically the backstage area that he had talked about, and where people who were either working the booth with him or just up there hanging out, and wanted to leave their doll someplace safe for a while. It was, we were always there, around the area, watching each other's back and
taking care of each other's dolls and stuff. And yeah, it was really cool. It just we had this place to be.
Yep.
It was nice.
And this doll, who I have officially nicknamed Kitchen Sink
because she has everything.
She's got it all. She has the courage, the vitiligo. She has cyber markings. She has fangs. Is this Transcendence? I think it might be. I think this is Transcendence, Cyber Transcendence with vitiligo.
I even like that he did put the cyber over the vitiligo. You could have thought that it would get left out because the vitiligo makes that that side happen.
Yeah.
But even that part is, part of this is on there.
Yeah, very cool. I believe that's it for the front dolls. Well, and then of course we have the Black Navy prototype, and she is also right here. Danny was incredibly lovely, and not only was delivering dolls to like the creative or the small doll creative creator winners, but he was making sure that people who helped out at the booth that weekend went home with one of those dolls, largely so that he didn't have to
travel with them, but it was a generous gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazingly generous.
We were just blown away beyond touched. Like, it was.
So yeah, she is officially the first ever Black Navy doll. And so much so, to point out here, that her frame is not all Black Navy.
Her internals are gray.
A chunk of her internals are. They went through a phase of working through the frame. You know, they did replace most of the visible joints with Black Navy. But yes, they you can see the back. The stand port is still gray.
So this is the actual doll that was pictured in the first pictures of Divergence.
The one we saw in the video chat that when Danny showed it off to us.
Yep, and then he was like, "Do you guys have any of these clothes?" Because he didn't really want to undress her because she's dressed the way that she's been dressed.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, we don't have this or this, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna bag her up. So she came with her badge and the shorts and adventurer tops, and
she is amazing in person. She definitely wants a lot of light. She absorbs most of it, but it's a little bit, you can mostly see it. There's a definite the navy is sort of just a blue undertone to the black.
Shelby says, so it's the one I saw when I got to go to the store. Most likely, yes.
Probably. I haven't seen too many others, although they're probably ramping that up now.
There's a prowess out, but I don't think anybody else has Divergence yet.
Yeah, so she is just amazing. And this is probably the best camera for it. This is our most accurate color, because you can actually see my green hair versus in the other camera it just looks sort of blonde. Yeah, she's amazing.
The cyber paint is freaking gorgeous. Like,
yeah.
You can't even see it that well. Maybe we could do that for top down or something, so we can show people the paint better. Look at the paint on the thighs. It shines. It's like...
It's so good.
She is not all squishy. She is like what you expect.
Yep, she is a regular doll. The normal squishy bits are the normal squishy bits. Yeah, she is amazing. Thank you so much, Danny. We're glad we could help you travel light.
Very happy.
Elena asks, is the paint gold or copper? It's definitely a gold. It certainly looks copper, depending on if the brightness of the light in terms of how it's hitting it. Like, I'm looking here.
It is a metallic, so it reflects. So whatever goes on it, it's gonna reflect. Right now, when we look at it, in our camera, she almost looks like she's got some silver going on under her eyes, but it's not. It's all gold.
Yeah, it's very definitely gold. That is the core. It would need to be a little bit redder and darker to be copper, but copper would be pretty cool. Although I think the gold, in terms of the brightness, really works nicely. Sparamite says, "I would love to see her with gold eyes and gold hair."
That could be very cool, actually.
It's oh no, good. I've got the lights working pretty decent, so you can actually see her. I fixed our dark spot here. So yeah, absolutely amazed by her, and I don't know how. I don't think she's gonna change ever, because this is what she's existed in and has always existed in, and maybe temporarily to try something out. But who wants to cover up all of these lines?
I mean, she really wants to wear like minimal clothing because she wants to see all that paint.
I did get that clear vinyl that you need to do something with, so maybe she needs some clear clothing.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah.
Go very Blade Runner with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you again, Danny. I've utterly blown away. And she's amazing. We're so happy to see people just going home, with pair dolls and things for the first time, seeing that, like
it was joyful. Yeah. Like, I mean, there was somebody who's not doing much, doesn't do much on social media, got to take one home because he's a longtime friend and customer. He went away with a pair future, and so
good. This is we don't have a name yet, so we can't do an official induction. We've got a couple of ideas floating around, but nothing permanent. So if you have a suggestion, by all means leave it in the comments. Let us know.
We'd love to know what you think she should be named.
I'm almost thinking like she needs, like, maybe she's just number one.
We just call her one.
Ichiban.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that is the Black Navy. And this is Divergence. That is Black Navy Divergence.
Kelly Poplar asked, "Do you still plan to get any other Black Navy girls?" If he does Kabuki, that will be a must.
Yeah. Don't necessarily see that coming, but it would be amazing. I would love to see like black, white, and gold or something. I don't know. Or I would love to see. I would love to see Danny do full on like white blushing on, like, do a geisha face on a doll, or I don't know, something really like. I love the traditional Japanese sort of his takes on
like
that.
Subversive, almost not subversive, but yeah.
There was. I mean, Kabuki was subversive in it being female, but
and people want to know what the reactions were from people meeting Smartdoll for the first time. There were some amazing reactions.
We actually got to see somebody brought in their C2 unopened. It's their first doll. And opened it in front of Danny. It was amazing. I think you missed this.
I missed it. I was gone.
You were wandering, but it was amazing to watch. Shizu-san and I were like there, and I think we both kind of got chills of like watching. Just seeing somebody get their first doll and open it, but also watching Danny's face. It was amazing.
Danny did a lot of hanging back and letting the rest of us talk to people, and he was just listening the whole time. I mean, he talked to people if they wanted to talk to him, but he he did a lot of like just listening and watching, and the rest of us kind of just got to geek out with people over Smartdoll.
It was so much fun. What was it? We have some other pictures here.
That is the person I was just talking about getting his pair girl.
This is with the not the non-Kigurumi, the cardigan, the tiger cardigan. It's just so lovely to see. Barbie Witch says some people drop the F-bomb in front of Danny a lot because they grew up in Boston. I don't know who you could be talking about. Trust me. There were some very interesting conversations had at this booth that had nothing to do with smartdoll. So I don't think you should worry about that. We had Danny and I had a guy sort of pitch us his app for allowing people who enjoy experimentation in group settings to find each other.
I didn't hear about this. I was not around for that.
No,
either.
You weren't around for this. We were both like, "Oh, really? Okay." It was hilarious. They, so there was definitely a big anime crowd.
I just have to comment on this picture. It looks like if you didn't know that this was AnimeNYC, it almost looks like there's some sort of cult ritual going on behind Danny.
Oh my, it does. Yeah, that happens a lot. This is the last day. All right, so we'll go ahead and explain this picture, then we'll go back to some of the earlier shots and kind of do chronological. And actually, you know what? All right, so go ahead and explain this.
This is at the very last minute at the end of the day, last hour or two. Katya from Elite Doll World showed up at AnimeNYC. She made it in just in time to come in and meet Danny and get her doll's head cap signed.
Yep.
And that's me holding her girl. And she's holding my pair because I asked her if she wanted to, get her hands on the pair, and she said yes.
So that's Miranda dressed up in the Kigurumi.
Yeah, Miranda was very busy at AnimeNYC. She was getting passed around and held a lot, rather than taking down Danny's dolls and handing them to people that wanted to hold the doll.
Yeah. So before we go into kind of some more of these personal shots, I think it's time to talk about Cortex. But before we do, you should give this video a like. If you find our content informative, amusing, even dull enough that you're still watching,
because you have nothing better to do.
Give it a
thumbs up, because it'll be back next week and you'll have something else to listen to that you don't normally listen to.
We look forward to seeing more of Danny in the future, more interviews with him. Anytime we can get sort of nail him down long enough to have a chat. And before we also get into that, I do want to mention our holiday teas are back. The Happy Holidays collection is available on mylady.disdain.com, and I don't know why the website's not on there. But the holiday shipping deadlines are December 10th for the US, and it really depends on the country, but roughly around December 4th for international, to receive anything by December 25th. Mm-hmm. But I know a lot of you aren't necessarily buying for somebody else. You're buying for yourself. So we're going to leave those up all holiday season, and you can grab what you need. Thank you, Lee, for putting the link in the chat. There's also a link to the website in general down in the description of the video.
And they're so cute because we have also, we have been known to wear our holiday shirts outside of the holiday because they're so freaking cute.
Check those out. If you have any questions about shipping times and the websites, any concerns, I do have some tools that I can take a look at on like a per country basis, but there's too many of you out there and too many variety. I basically went by our common countries that we're getting orders from. So yeah, check those out. You've got basically this week is the safest. Next week, if you have to, especially if you're in the United States, you got a little bit more time. So get on that. And meanwhile, let's do this.
All right, so we're going to do some chit chat about Cortex. Then over here we have our lovely Pride. She's such sweet girl. One of our arms is a prototype of Cortex 2. So if you have a look at the arm over here, you see the two pieces. And then you'll see the screw at the back over there. So Cortex was a vision which was born from the need to be able to scale our production. So slush casting vinyl, it's a really manually intensive process, which is very difficult to articulate in a way that folks can really appreciate how much work goes into them. So if you take one piece, for example, you need to like pour into a mold, you need to like bake it in a vat for like X amount of minutes, then pour away the excess, then cure it again, and then cool it down. But before you do all of that, sometimes you need to put the mold onto a centrifugal unit, spin it around for a few minutes, that gets rid of some air bubbles, then put into an air chamber, that gets rid of like more air bubbles. So it can take like 20 minutes just to do like one part. And sometimes by that time you finish, there's like a dot on like the nose, and we just can't use that part anymore. So sometimes they go into like chaos, basically. So it's very limiting into like how much we can make, which is one of the reasons why lots of manufacturers, they don't make dolls this way. They just don't make dolls, basically. They make figures or like kits. So I think we're still fortunate enough to be able to like work with many folks across Japan with casting facilities, and we actually have one of our own casting facilities where we can control the quality on a granular level. So Cortex enables us to make something that looks similar in a much more efficient process, and that process is called injection molding. And so the materials are different, usually involves a few pieces which join together, just like a Gundam kit. If you built a Gundam kit, you'll know that they are quite fragile. If you drop it on the floor, then you'll be crying for quite a while, I guess. And then before you try to put it together. So for smartdoll, if you drop them on the floor, they are very unlikely to break, but they may come after you at nighttime. And that's going to cost you more in medical expenses for yourself. And so yeah, you don't want to drop smartdoll, but they are designed to be like very robust. And so when you're making a plastic kit for something like this, then you have to consider lots of things about like stress absorption, how it's going to be put together, and the different poses it has to endure, and so on. So we came out with a version in 2017. Didn't quite work out because we didn't quite know what we were doing. We just thought that we'd make something that we thought would work out, and it just didn't work out. It actually took longer to build a Cortex than a vinyl version. This time, we've got it sorted. We know exactly what to do, and we have the technology this time that will enable us to like make it into a reality. We're going to split out the molds between like arms and legs, body and head. Before it was all mashed into one, which was like really bad news. And then we have like a much better technology for injection molding and a much more improved technology as well. So the first part of Cortex that's going to be launched as a product is going to be the arm, and that's going to be launched as a prosthetic. And because last time we tried to make a human kit, you can't hide the panel lines because they're like right in your face. But now, because we're going for the cyber shell look and feel, the parting lines are actually part of the aesthetic. So we want to accentuate these pan lines. So that's the problem with these cyber shell markings. They need to be painted, but these don't need to be painted. And so I think that's going to be like a really, I guess like a nice charm point of Cortex going forward. So we're going to do the arm first, then we're going to work on the legs. So prosthetic arms, prosthetic legs, and then we can like do the torso. Then we can like do the head like right at the end of the process. So that's about it. And then I'll be like updating my doom scrolling media when we have updates.
How many years do you think it's going to take for you to get through to the whole body?
I think it's not going to take years because when you like really focus on something, you can give yourself like a few years to do something, or you can say, I want this done in 4 months. If you want it done in 4 months, it's going to be done in 4 months, basically. So the pair body, we've never done something like so fast. And so this was done in like pretty much like 4 months. And I think what helped us like solidify the look and feel of this was from feedback from our community. And they were the ones which really helped guide us to create this. And I do give our community lots of credit, but also give our detractors lots of credit too. And while our supporters helped push us along, our detractors gave us the nitro we needed to bring this to market even quicker, so that we can give them something worth living for.
Thank you for that interview, Danny. That was really cool.
Yeah, I just like, you don't need to interview Danny. You just gotta say, "Hey, Danny, talk," and it just comes right out. I think he actually at one point he's like, "Should I stop?" I was like, "No." Yeah, that was fantastic. So couple things to note, just to recap what we've learned there. I mean, they are going to be pushing this out. Like, he is focused on doing this. He's going to do it in pieces. So we're going to see an arm, we're going to see a torso. In fact, we have, if I can pull up the right thing here, we have a picture that he released in his timeline of a 3D model of the torso. So we can start to see the two halves and how they might come together. This is actually below the torso. And so this is the back piece and this is the front piece. And just to be clear, because you are looking at a 3D model, so this is all these lines are generally just mesh lines in the model itself.
That's not the places where it goes together. Although there
when
are
you
some
see the
places
double
that
lines
are,
where there's like two lines really close together, that's when you're starting to see more angles come into play. And so you can see these are the some of the chest panel lines. And then of course the panel from it actually being put together, these will form a panel line. An interesting thought came to me when thinking about this, is there's a certain amount of flexibility on the bust. You can actually move the neck and collapse a vinyl bust a little bit. You're not going to be able to do that here. And I wonder, maybe it won't make too much of a difference. But if it does, I wonder if that's something that's just acceptable to him, or if there is a way that he could, alter these to give some of that flexibility back. Like, essentially, I guess technically you would have to have like a neck part that would connect in there and float in like a joint or something weird. I don't know. It probably doesn't make any sense, but it's interesting to see that. And we definitely have confirmation from him that Cortex 2, at least in current plans, is cyber only.
Right. So making use of the fact that those panels seam together to actually create cyber dolls, not just the regular dolls are not all going to become Cortex.
Yeah. Shiza-san's in chat and says the original Cortex, you could swap out the Cortex bus with a normal vinyl bus. Is this going to be the case? That's a really good question. From the looks of this, I'm wondering if, because he's got these panels coming together and he's got these posts where they're going to screw, you're going to connect these in and likely run a screw or some sort of bolt between them to lock these in. I'm wondering, is this just going to make a bust and then that bust will act just like a normal bust does, where you can take that on or off?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I know we have Shiki, and she's a hybrid. She has a regular bust.
Yeah.
And it works fine with the Gen 2 frame. It just slips on.
I would imagine, I don't see a reason why he would, connect the bust to the inner frame.
Yeah.
Why would it work differently? So my hope is that this will end up being placed on the doll just like a normal bust is. And in that regard, you won't have to do, you can swap them if you wanted to.
By the way, hi, Shizu-san. We have the sick too.
Yep. I don't know. It sounds like you got sick first. No, I don't know. Who's to blame?
Some random person at AnimeNYC.
That's very true. This is Pride, and this is actually the Pride that you saw in the video. Sans prototypes.
We were not important enough to receive the only cyber arm.
The prototypes are he was like, I'm not gonna give you the prototypes. I was like, oh, are you sure? It's very cool. She is so much like
Not everything to everyone.
Not everything to everyone. To us,
we call Haven.
That we decided to name this lovely girl sort of in concert with Haven, like they're sisters. So we do have a doll to induct and a name. This is Harlow. And so they will be Haven and Harlow.
And so get your clapping hands ready. We have to do this. Welcome Harlow to the Court of Disdain.
Yay! We'll do an official induction for the Black Navy girl when we have a name. Harlow is sporting I think this is, I don't know, this is not Volks. I can't remember.
No, those came from some Mori time or something. This shirt is Volks.
The shirt is Volks, and that is the you work, you die.
I thought it was you work, you lose.
You work, you lose.
Something like that. It's from Idolmaster. It's the lazy little girl wears that shirt.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seemingly decided that Harlow here is a sad, lonely, lazy little starlet, I guess. Thank you all for welcoming her to the court. Trying to think, is there anything else with Cortex 2? Any other questions? We do know that he is planning on doing the kits that you'll be able to put together yourself, as well as the bodies. Well, that all massively caught up in chat. We've got one coming here. I need another clear Cortex. A clear version of the Cyber Cortex
would be very cool.
Needs to happen, especially because here's what I would want to do. You need to do it to do Ghost in the Shell, and you need to have a cinnamon Cortex 2 and a clear Cortex 2, and mix it, and then paint one of the clears like half cinnamon, so it's her going into mid transformation into her invisibility mode, her cloak.
So, I think that does cover what we know about Cortex 2, at least as much as I can think of.
It's we did talk about some ideas. I of course mentioned that, I mean, machine guns coming out of the bust is an obvious choice.
I went with a much more simple thing. I thought it was cool because of where that magnet is placed on the arm to make like a little buckler. Like a little shield that goes on the arm, rather than having to be a weapon, she has a shield. That would be very cool.
That would be really, really cool. And it's very interesting to see Danny playing around with more magnets and interoperability, and then putting things out as STL files for people to print up and make their own stuff. So I have a feeling we're going to have like a really cool base cyber arm that then people are going to have a lot of fun making attachments for. So I don't know if, is this going to solve all of our problems? I mean, really, not all of our problems. Obviously not.
Danny solves the world's problems.
Cortex 2, world peace. Is this going to solve the efficiency issues, the supply and demand issues? Now, to Danny, it's not a huge issue because he's going to make what he's going to make. But I know there is a lot of people that want more dolls, and he does want to be able to serve the people that want his product. So if this will help that, I'm wondering how much might this being a cyber themed body limit that at all. Are we going to see more people, more dolls coming out because people are buying cyber bodies because they're more readily available, and then just covering up with clothes? If you could do, if you can swap the hands, which should be able to, if you can swap the bust, then with a lot of clothes you can hide the cyberness of it.
So when I talked to Danny, we were talking about kits is definitely a goal. Which allows him, again, like what the original Cortex was supposed to do, which allows him to scale a little more without hiring more help, without expanding his space, that kind of thing. He doesn't want to hire any more people. So,
definitely not going to stop making vinyl dolls, though.
Right.
So, this is going to fill some niche and be able to expand in a way that is much easier to make.
People who like to build models will be interested in them,
Definitely. We will certainly be collecting some of these as it happens. For me, the cyber lines have never quite landed 100% for me, the painted versions, but as they become actual functional parts of like how they come together.
It looks like Cornflower Blue must have gotten an ad for Ricola, because she says, "Are they listening to you guys talk about Congrad?"
Probably. Probably, yes. They so Cortex 2 we'll probably start seeing things next year. He doesn't think it's going to take, a huge amount of time, but you know how these things are. It's going to probably be some rapid development and then a long tail. Although Pear, which was rapid development and is having, taking longer to come to fully to market, is also because of some issues that they ran into, but they, we know that they really want Pear to have a nice full, full lineup of clothes, and have time for people to have the doll and have apparel designers for smartdoll to be able to be making pear-shaped stuff. So it's sort of a rollout that he wants to do right versus to do sooner.
Right. We get another comment about the ads in the live stream. This is new from YouTube. We are working on, we can work on where they get placed, but we can't actually stop them.
We're going to continue to review them and see what our options are. But we are not going to comment on them. And thank you for those of you filling in anybody else in chat. So let's see. We had let's go to our sort of our kind of day by day, I guess. This was, I believe, day one. And we got to start. I mean, we saw a number of people from the court, which was great to see. We got to meet people. I don't know if we have all of our pictures in here. I think there's a lot of ones for Danny, but
we're also not going to give any names because we haven't asked people if they want their name given with these pictures. But that is a loyal friend.
Call yourself out if you want to. This video is entitled like what we learned. One of the things we did learn that Danny is apparently a master of selfies without looking at the screen.
He uses the back camera.
Yeah, he just takes his phone with the back camera pointed towards everybody, using an ultra wide lens, of course, and just goes and does like 2 angles and then done.
This is how many selfies he has taken in his time using a cell phone. So
many selfies, complete muscle memory, and is just able to, like, I saw him mess it up once.
Yep.
It's very funny. For the people who were helping out at the booth each day, they were incredibly gracious to take us out for dinner. Jay, who is from Shanghai, Danny's wife is from Shanghai, and I think in the years that they've been to New York,
you can see her in the corner, up in the upper right hand corner, because they had to put us at 2 different tables.
Yeah, sadly, I guess they don't move tables together, or I think when we sat down, there was people here at the table in between. So sadly, we had to split up into separate tables, because at that point, we were like, we want to sit with Jay.
She ordered for both tables.
It was fantastic. It was really good, like real Chinese food, not American Chinese food. What was your favorite? Do you remember anything like that stood out to you as your favorite thing?
The beef, the meat things were really good.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're here.
They're not there in that picture.
They were like a weird mix of like dumpling and meatloaf and like.
Yeah, they were really good.
These mushrooms are really cool. They're sort of like a woody texture.
Lots of collagen.
Yes, a lot of collagen. And Danny, I don't know if it says this here. Danny got awesome lemonade.
Was it awesome or amazing? I can't remember.
I don't know. It was amazing. Maybe it was amazing. Probably amazing. Amazing lemonade. Food was fantastic. And it was just a really nice, to get to talk to Danny. What was like for you, Sandy? What was it like meeting Danny and talking to Danny for the first time?
I very much just wanted to meet Danny. I didn't want to put him on a pedestal or anything like that. I just wanted to meet the guy who makes these dolls that we love so much and just know him as a person. And he's very cool. Yeah, you're very cool, Danny. We enjoyed meeting you.
Yeah, and I gotta say, like, I mean, obviously you're well versed at doing this, but meeting Danny, he's very laid back, and very easy to talk to. He instantly, like, we're sitting there, like, you can see, like, we're all like, some of us are trying harder than others to use.
I struggle with chopsticks. I do.
And Danny instantly put her at ease, admitting that he has, is not the greatest with chopsticks.
He helped me get stuff onto my plate, which was helpful.
It's I find, Danny and I have a common background of working for Amazon, and so it's like there's just an easy like, I don't know, just really easy to talk to. And I would say, for those of you that came out and hung out, whether you stopped by for 5 minutes or whether you hung out there for, what was it, 3 hours, or you didn't come because you were just too nervous. Like, the man is chill. And you don't need to be nervous. You don't need to worry about it. He loves his community, and he does everything he can to give back.
Actually, when we were walking into this restaurant, he was walking in with a doll in his hand, and somebody on the street was like, "What the heck was that?" He went, "Voodoo doll." He kept walking.
This was all of us after dinner, and so this is Danny, obviously, Sandy, me. I think that's right. He was carrying Legion with him. Shizu-san, and behind Shizu-san and me is Alphon or Ai-chan, and Jay or Wifey. The team is just, all of them are fantastic, lovely people.
Jay and I talked a lot, and we laughed like 90% of the time at the con.
I'm telling you, like, by the end of day one, like, over Danny, all about Jay. So another really cool special sort of thing that happened.
I love this shot of her too. Anyway,
so we helped Danny out by bringing one of our Evolve frames to the convention so that he didn't have to bring a body. Again, they're trying to travel as light as possible. So he wanted to bring Wednesday out to the convention, and he did that by just bringing her costume and the head
and wig. Yeah.
And since they don't have the rooms, they didn't pack enough room for a body, he asked us if we would look after her, each night, and bring her back to our room so that they didn't have to try and find room in their suitcases and everything. So Wednesday got to come to our hotel room and have a sleepover.
And she doesn't seem to really understand a slumber party. Like,
no, she wasn't prepared. Danny didn't. I mean, I will say this, Danny, you don't prepare your dolls for life very well because you didn't give her any other clothes. She just had the clothes she wore that day. It was very awkward, but then again, Wednesday's an awkward girl.
Wednesday's kind of awkward, yeah. By the way, that's the bed at Stay Pineapple. It's a very small group of hotels that's only in like the major cities like Chicago, etc. And we enjoyed it. If you covet in a hotel a really good night's sleep,
yep, and
definitely recommend.
Incredibly clean linens. Like each side of the bed had its own duvet, so
right?
you each got your own clean
duvet. You don't get to fight
duvet.
over duvets, and they're nice and fluffy. Very nice. Stay Pineapple is very good.
It was so much fun, and it was amazing to get to look at Wednesday's face up close up. We may be seeing a doll similar to this possibly come out in the future. We'll see.
There was
maybe,
a couple
maybe
people,
a doll named Thursday.
a few people were like really into Wednesday, like not just the fact that she was Wednesday, but like just really into this face, into this doll.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, there may be some paths for not an official doll, but Danny might be able to see his way towards not letting this amazing face up wield when they saw each other. Yep. So they this is our first time getting to meet Katya. She's really lovely, and always a pleasure to see Corey and Anna again. you'll see in our final evening. We did not go out Saturday night because our feet were tired.
We were shot. Like we got some ramen and went back and ate ramen in bed. It was good ramen for taking it out. It was pretty good.
Oh, it was very good ramen. I know it would have been better in the restaurant, yes, versus in the bed, but it was very good. So this is Sunday night. Again, split tables. You've got a couple people over on another table sitting with Jay and Aichan. But this was really great. Danny and Jay and the whole team are going or did go out to like Utah, to Vegas, and then Utah to see a lot of great like national parks and things, which Corey and Anna are big national parks, but specifically Anna, I believe, but and so it was great to hear all their advice, for them of like, where to go and what they should check out. It was a very cool conversation. So good food, good company. Danny definitely, treated everyone who was helping out with the booth and everything overly well. Quite honestly, we kept forcing ourselves to go out into the convention, but we just kept coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel the need to go to AnimeNYC again unless Danny's going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's mostly what we did, and that was the highlight of the trip.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the type of anime that we watch, I think.
Not really represented much.
Yeah, and it was the anime. I'm gonna put out some more videos. There was also a doll meetup that Shizu-san organized, which I gotta say, the dolls got a lot more interest having them out in the middle of the eating space, up on a table, and everyone was like, "Whoa, what is this?"
Yeah, tons of people coming up to take pictures. I swear, Audrey in the Kigurumi.
Oh yes,
you said Miranda earlier.
Yeah.
Audrey in the Kigurumi got so much attention. People were coming up and zooming in on her face and stuff. So I know she's gonna be in lots of people's social media. She's so freaking cute.
This. So I'm gonna put out a couple of different videos. I'm gonna put out the video that we played live, without the emojis going up over it. About Cortex 2, so that'll come out probably in a day or two. That one's pretty much ready to go. I'm also going to put together, I basically just have video of people talking about what dolls they brought, and to the doll meetup, and I don't know if I can put together something beyond sort of the intros of, I don't know, if you guys are interested in footage of walking around to spot basic cosplays. I pretty much just kept the video going as we walked, but didn't stop people for oh, you have a cool cosplay, can I take footage?
Right. You just walked around with the camera, letting people see.
Yeah, so it's first person shooter mode. So look forward to those videos, whatever I can put together. Let me just double check and see, was there any other this was the last sort of big picture from the day of at least everybody on Sunday that was helping out and working at the booth. Sandy rocking her smartdoll guru shirt, which is coming soon.
Beth in Wonderland says there was a woman there who had been wanting to get a smart doll, and when she saw all the smart dolls, finally convinced her husband to get one because of the meetup.
Oh, that's great! That's really good to see. And Spiral White says, "Any Danny dancing?" And I cannot believe that I missed the opportunity. But I mean, to be fair,
he didn't bring the armor.
No, he didn't bring the armor, and I'm not sure I don't know if Danny dances. Have we actually seen the Stormtrooper and Danny together ever,
Right.
or Mando. Maybe they're not the same person.
He might only dance in armor.
I'm saying they may not even be the same person. But we didn't get any footage of Danny dancing. It was very hectic to some extent, like, because it was just lots of people all day long, lots of talking to people, taking pictures, and then as soon as it was out, find food. Everyone start to kind of come down off the high and then crash and get ready for the next day. So next time. Speaking of next time, I have some exclusive information here. Whoops, I'm clicking things. Let me see if I can get back into where was this? Yes. So I have word from Danny of where he's gonna be. I've got good news and some bad news. So I'll deal with the bad news first. We have heard from Danny that unfortunately while we were trying to convince him
to come to Dalcon Dallas.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to get into a scheduled February. I don't know what's going on in February specifically, but it unfortunately is not going to work out for him. So sad eyes. I'm really glad we jumped on getting tickets for AnimeNYC and got to that. But if you did miss seeing Danny at AnimeNYC, he's gonna be at 3 other events currently in
the
next
US.
Year. In the US. No word yet on UK events, although he previously talked about doing some sort of smartdoll meetup thing in UK and getting back there.
But one of the locations also very cool for people in Canada.
Yes.
Depending
okay.
on where in Canada.
Sure. So we don't have full information on the exact events for all of these, but he will be in the LA area in January for an event. Not sure what exactly. I would imagine he is gonna do like the whole like Disneyland, have Disney meetings with people about licenses and blah 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 and all the other sort of stuff he does. And take a look at an event in January for that. He will be in Seattle in May. Is that Comic-Con or what's in Seattle in May? Chat, get on it.
But that's what I was saying about Canada. Is that's pretty for some parts of Canada. Seattle is a pretty good trip.
And he's looking at Otakon in July. Otakon is the in DC.
In DC.
So these aren't settled yet, but that is currently his plan. No flights have been booked yet, and nothing's 100%. But we've got our first clearest idea of where he's going to be over the next year, and just hoping for those in Europe that he's able to do something in the UK as well, because I know he wanted to get back to London again after his last trip. Let's see. Dark Jedi says Seattle is SakuraCon for May, so that could be where he's headed.
We don't know anything for sure. We just know these are the dates that he gave us, the months that he gave us that he will be back in the States.
Yep. So
and it's tentative.
Yep. So we'll let you know as we know more. It's I'm if he's going to be at Otakon, we're definitely looking at going there this year. We probably would have gone last year if we had planned it out better.
Right.
So that'll be great. Don't know if probably Seattle and LA aren't gonna make sense considering the other travel that we're going, because at some point in all this we got to figure out how to go to Japan.
Right.
So
we promised that we would get to Japan.
Yeah. So we will we'll keep you up to date, and let you know anything else we know as we get the information. And yeah, we'll see what happens.
We had a little bit of info from Danny about the pair stuff too.
Yeah, I was gonna skip it, but he did also mention to me that the pair body shipping boxes, their samples look good and that they're ordering their first batch.
So yeah, so that's one more step towards that pair doll release, hopefully in December.
Yep. Yeah, the first like limited run of pair bodies. And then we'll be making that transition to that new box probably for everything, most likely once that gets settled. Yeah, as a reminder, we will be seeing a good number of you in February at DollCon Dallas.
Definitely come.
Can't wait to see as many as possible. And yeah, it's going to be great. I think my D&D group might be there. Most of us, we got to figure out how to get our last person there. But we can't thank you enough, all of you, for all of your support. We wouldn't be able to
do all these things that we're doing without you.
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't, probably do it if you weren't there. Like, just, going to the conventions is something that's very new to us, and I want to continue getting more and more content as we get more practiced and more streamlined in our gear setup and how we do filming and everything.
You get a lot of compliments on his rig at AnimeNYC.
Yeah, a very well cable managed iPhone setup. It worked out pretty well, but especially for ordering things
at the last minute.
Pretty much the last minute.
People are asking who's first for Pair Girls. We do not know.
Don't know. But they will be one at a time, is what he was saying. So it's going to be, one doll. Not he's not going to release a bunch of different Pair Girls. He may go through multiple dolls, but they will be one at a time.
I'm going to guess either Live and Let Live or Future is first.
I mean, I vote for Future because she's best girl. But and she was the first.
We did find out that she changed a little bit after I got mine, so I actually have a unique Future.
Yes. I'd be interested to see what exactly was it. The face up that
the
changed?
The mouth is a little different.
Oh yeah.
I forget what else he said changed, but yeah. So I have a unique. Audrey is unique. And the Future that is coming out is equally lovely. So I'm pro Future as well.
Me too.
And that'll be all for us. That was a lot, and we're gonna let you all go.
Yeah, I apologize. Well, we had some multiple technical difficulties, but the Smarty Party had some image processing problems, and we don't have it tonight. We will have a very big Smarty Party with lots of pictures, 3 weeks worth of pictures next time. So it's going to be a little bit crazy, but stay tuned. We'll make sure all of your Smarty pictures get seen. And until next time, we love you all.
Bye.
Bye.